Final thoughts on this?
It sucks.
I know if St. Nicholas was alive today, he'd throat punch this guy.
Bringing you law, gospel, and guns. Welcome to Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hi folks, I'm your host Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran, and welcome to episode 99, our second annual Christmas wish list episode, brought to you by Kooks Holsters, American-made custom Kydex holsters with a lifetime warranty and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. KooksHolsters.com. Armed Lutheran Radio is a podcast about guns, hunting, competition, and the natural right of self-defense and what God's Word says about the issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. But today, we're doing something a little bit different. Last year, in episode 49, we closed out the year with a Christmas wish list episode. I asked all my contributors not to submit their regular tip for the week, but instead to record a little something about the gun-related goodies that they were hoping to find under the Christmas tree or in their stockings that year. It was a fun show, and we've decided to continue this and make it a tradition. This is our second year. Only this year it's going to be bigger and better. Today, in addition to hearing from Sergeant Bill and Aaron and Mia and Pastor Bennett, you're going to hear from Bob Cook from Kooks Holsters, from Patrick and Cassie Coburn, the owners of Guns for Gals. Our reigning trivia champion and part-time gun reviewer, John Braaten, joins us. Members of the Reformation Gun Club will be sharing their wish lists and a few voices that you've heard on the show previously. So let me get things started here today. What gun stuff am I looking for under the tree for Christmas this year? Well, I'm hoping to get one of those collapsible folding wagons. That's one of the things that I've got on my list of things I want to get for next year, to take them to IDPA matches. They make hauling your gear around the range so much easier. They fold up and you just put them in the back of the truck and go. You can even help out your team by carrying their crap too, and they'll appreciate it, and you'll be making their day a lot easier, especially on some of those matches where there's a lot of walking between bays. If you've ever walked around the United States Shooting Academy in Tulsa, you know that's a huge range. There's a lot of walking involved. So those carts are really great. So I'm hoping to add one of those to my collection this year. I need to get another TLR, probably a TLR 3 to match the one I've already got for the weapons for my home defense guns. We've got a couple of quick access safes, and we've got guns stored in them. They're dedicated specifically for home defense. One of them's got a TLR 3 light mounted on it. The other just has some cheapy light that eats through batteries like crazy, even though the thing's never used. So I need to upgrade the light on that gun. So that's one thing that maybe I could find that in my stocking this year. That would be nice. And as you know, magazines make nice stocking stuffers too, so could use a few more of those. I prefer to keep a minimum of 4 magazines for each gun that I own, but there's still a few that I've got that have the magazines, only the magazines that came with the gun, so I need a few more of those. I've gotten into doing some simple upgrades on my guns lately. I did a trigger job on a couple of my CZ clones, and I've got a few more that could use sprucing up. So some spring kits, maybe from Wolf Springs, maybe or from Cajun Gunworks, a few new sets of grips, some fiber optic sights, that kind of stuff. That would be nice. And I'd also like to get a new Glock 19 slide and some sights to replace the one that is on my wife's gun. See, I bought her a Glock frame right after she got her concealed carry permit. She passed the the class, and her chosen gun, the Walther CCP, just turned out to be a Jam-O-Matic. And so basically I sent that back. She finished her concealed carry class with Aaron Israel's Glock 19, and she said, I want one of those. Well, I couldn't go out and, at the time, go out and get another one, and I had my own Glock 19 that I wasn't carrying much. So what I did was I ordered her a frame, and I had it Cerakoted purple, and I put my old slide on it. And I'd kind of like to get her own slide, so it's her gun, and then I could take my old slide back, put it back on my old Glock 19, and bring that out of retirement. And I've also been looking at a first gun for my daughter. She loves going to the range. She's going to be 8 next year. She's been shooting my Marlin 60 every time we go to the range. She really likes that. She's talked about wanting her own gun. So I've been looking at those little Cricket rifles or the Rascal made by Savage. There's also, I noticed the other day, there's a youth-sized rifle from Henry that I'd seen for the first time that looked really cool. So that might just be the trick, or maybe an M&P 1522. Mia recommended that one, so that's a possibility as well. So those are some of the things that I'm hoping for this year.
Hey gang, this is Massad Ayoob.
And Gail Pepin, the Predator of the Pro Arms Podcast.
What we want for Christmas is the passage of H.R. 38.
Which is National Concealed Carry Reciprocity.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all y'all.
The percentage of women who own guns is growing. American women are more knowledgeable and better equipped to defend themselves than ever before. So, why is it that every time I go to a gun shop, I feel like they're talking down to me? Like, hey little lady, let me show you what you need. It's like all they want to do is sell me a pink gun. If you're tired of feeling that too, visit Guns for Gals, a specialty firearms boutique designed to empower women with information about firearm safety and to equip them with the means to protect themselves. The owners go out of their way to find products specifically for women, and they actually listen and ask questions to help you find the right products to meet your needs. If they wouldn't own it themselves, they won't sell it. Guns for Gals is located at 2035 Central Circle, Suite 108 in McKinney, Texas. Open Monday 1 to 6 and Tuesday through Thursday 11 to 7. And on weekends, you can find them at a gun show near you. Or shop online at www.gunsforgals.com. Guns for Gals, more than just a gun shop. It's how gun shopping should be.
I'm Pastor Evan Gigline of Table Talk Radio, and you're listening to Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Welcome to another one. This time of year can be really stressful for a lot of people, just trying to figure out what to get their loved ones for Christmas. And at the top of my list is always a new gun. I could always have a new gun. I've gotten a Taurus Judge 1 year. I got a Benelli Vinci 1 year, a Super Black Eagle, a Super Black Eagle 2. I've gotten rifles. I got a Weatherby Hunter last year, or I believe it's Outfitter. But I wanted to talk about some guns and some things you need to look for. And a big thing that you need to pay attention to is what your significant other wants. And guys, I'm really talking to you because I know how guys are. They want a big, powerful gun, and their ladies in their life are like, no. Ladies tend to want the small, cute guns, and as you guys know, smaller isn't always better. So hopefully, if you're looking for a handgun, take the ladies to the range, see what they like, see what fits their hands, see what they can manage before you go and just purchase what you are wanting. Really try to find one that suits them. Last year, I recommended the Kimber K6S, and guess what? Santa brought that to me, and I do love it. It's a 357, and it's a great handgun, revolver. I actually got some tips from Maggie Reese while I was at that She Never Quit event this year, and how to hold the revolver a little better for those compact size guns. So that can be a great gift, a revolver. I did mention a number of shotguns there that I've received as gifts. And if you're looking for a shotgun for a lady, Siren USA makes shotguns designed for women. So you can check them out if you're in the market for a shotgun. Something that I reviewed a few years back, Savage sent me their Model 11/111 Lady Hunter rifle. They sent me that to review. I have it in a Model 243, and it's a wood stock that's also available with a composite stock. It has a carbon steel barrel. I really like it because it comes with a raised comb. So these designs for women, it's not just that they're a reduced stock. They actually have a cant to the stock, and they have a comb raised because women tend to have longer necks. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not just a cut down stock. Something else in talking about that, the Model 1111 Lady Hunter rifle, it weighs 6 pounds. That's before optics, before a sling, before a bipod. So those items there, gift ideas. Cha-ching, whether it's a shotgun or a rifle, you can look for slings, look for a good quality one. That's a great gift idea if someone in your life already has a gun. You can look for laser sights. I have a crimson laser sight on my Kimber Ultra Carry 2, and that's something that's a great gift. Keep an eye out for those. Bipods are good gifts. I'm going to give a shameless plug. At Amazon.com, I have an affiliate page. So Amazon.com/shop, that's hard to say. Amazon.com/shop/Mia Anstine. So if you go to that page, I've got a lot of things pinned there that are great gift ideas. There's eye protection, hearing protection, shooting targets, gun cleaning kits, gunsmithing tools, punches, hammers, all kinds of things. And if you are just at a loss for an idea, head over there and you can check things out. As I said, it's an affiliate page, but it's at Amazon, and it's /shop/Mia Anstine, and hopefully you can find some great ideas there. Merry Christmas, guys. Talk to you later.
Hey, Armed Lutheran Radio world, this is Pastor John Bennett. So what do I want for Christmas that's gun-related? This year I've got just one item on my list that I really would like to get, and I think this will appeal to a lot of you as well. It's called iTarget Pro, and you can find it at itargetpro.com. This product, which has been out on the market for a few months now, is pretty revolutionary. What it is it's a laser bullet. It comes in most popular handgun calibers as well as .223, and much like a dummy round or a snap cap, it's meant to stay in the chamber and absorb the impact from the firing pin. But what it does is it emits a laser. The kit comes with a target stand, and you use a smartphone app. And what it does is the laser emits from the bullet. It shows you on the target where your rounds would be hitting, and it records it on the smartphone app. And this is a really great way to get in some very effective dry fire practice. One of the other nice features about this laser bullet is that it's rimless. They've manufactured it in such a way so that you can continue racking your slide as many times as you want, and it won't eject the round. When you're all done, you use a stick or something. I think it even comes with a tool that will extract it for you. Now, for me personally, I haven't done a whole lot of dry fire practice. I'm not a serious competitive shooter because, frankly, with my profession, I just don't have the time for it. But I really want to improve my accuracy if in the case I ever have to use my firearm for self-defense. And the best way to do that is to get some practice. I also live in the Midwest where the closest indoor range, it's a good 45-minute drive. Outdoor ranges, well, I've got my backyard that I can use anytime for that. But it's cold, so it's a great way to also get in a lot of practice during the winter months if you happen to live in a place in the country where the outdoors aren't quite as hospitable this time of year. So that's what's on my list for this year. And a quick update from last year. The two items on my list for last year, I ended up getting the CZ Scorpion Evo S3. And Lloyd's been asking me to do a review on that. One of these days, I'll get around to posting a review for that. But also, I still want to get that gun box, the portable safe, could be stationed anywhere in your home. I'd like to get that as well. And just a little shameless plug for the Reformation Gun Club. Right now, if you join the Reformation Gun Club, there's a discount code for the gun box, and the savings that you will get with that outweigh the cost of the Reformation Gun Club membership. That thing is still on my list, and I'm hoping to get that soon. On another note, with all the very sad tragedies that we've been seeing happening in the last few months, my wife is actually to the point now where she's interested in possibly getting her concealed weapons permit. So, hopefully, maybe sometime this Christmas season, there'll be some gun shopping in the future as well. Anyhow, that's all for now. God's blessings to you all, and have a very Merry Christmas. May the joy of the Christ child fill your hearts and your homes.
Hey folks, this is Aaron Israel here with my Christmas wish list. I got to tell you, I'm not really huge on buying Christmas presents or getting Christmas presents. It's kind of stopped being a huge thing except for the kids. If I want something during the year, I usually just save up money and buy it. I end up saving a lot of money at the end of the year that way because my wife knows not to go and buy me something extravagant, and I don't go buy a Christmas present for myself or anything like that. So just a budgeting tip, if you like Christmas presents, just save up for that thing and get it throughout the year, especially if you have a joint bank account, because it all comes out of the same place anyway. So, I mean, I understand it's the thought of the thing and all that, but you can do that any time of year. But anyway, if I had to have a Christmas wish list, gun-related, I'm a Glockophile or a Glock fanboy, if you want to call it that. And I would really like to get my hands on one of the new Gen 5 Glock 19s. I haven't shot one yet. Since they came out, I haven't had one show up in class yet, so I've been looking forward to getting some range time with one. But I imagine sometime in 2018, I'll probably end up buying myself one if I don't get one for Christmas, and I don't expect to. But aside from that, there's not really anything on my Christmas wish list except I always kind of make my plan for training for the next year in December, and I'm looking at taking one or two classes next year for sure. One I haven't done yet is one for two people working together as an armed team, a two-person armed defense class. So I'm looking for doing something like that, and also some ground fighting stuff. I'm not somebody who works out in a jiu-jitsu gym or anything like that, but I'd like to know and get a refresher on really a little bit more of the ground fighting basics and how to access your gun in a entangled fight. It's been a long time since I've done something like that. So I'm looking at some of the Craig Douglas ShivWorks classes to see when he's coming to Texas next, and I'm going to see if I can get signed up for that in 2018. So Glock 19 Gen 5 would be awesome, and getting signed up for a couple of classes here in December is probably next on the agenda. So I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Sorry if I sound a little bit like a Scrooge not being huge on Christmas presents, but it is what it is. I'll see you guys in 2018, and thanks for tuning in.
Hey, this is Arden Bill. So we're supposed to do a Christmas wish list. So I've been thinking about this for a little while, and I think there's not a whole lot of gun-type stuff that I really want for Christmas. I wouldn't mind a Wilson Combat 1911 or maybe a Les Bear Thunder Ranch Special, but those are really expensive. But really, I think what I'd really like for Christmas is time. Time to spend with my children, teaching them how to shoot. Time going to the range and matches with my wife and friends. Time to go and practice and shoot major matches in IDPA and USPSA and make new friends, shoot with old friends that I've made over the last few years, and just spend time doing the things that I love with the people that I love. So from myself and Mrs. Sergeant Bill, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Having a good holster is absolutely critical if you're going to carry a firearm for self-defense. If you need a quality holster, let me recommend Kooks Holsters. I've found Kooks Holsters when I bought an IWB holster to write a review. And I liked that holster from Kooks Holsters so much that I applied to become an official Kooks Holsters dealer. Kooks Holsters are American-made, custom-molded to fit your firearm. The advantage of Kydex is that it holds its shape. It doesn't lose retention. It won't wear on the finish of your firearm the way leather will. They're available for hundreds of gun models, dozens of color combinations and different printed patterns. They're great for concealed carry, for range work. They come with a lifetime warranty against defects and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Check them out today, www.kooksholsters.com. Use the promo code ARMEDPODCAST to save 10% off of your order, and make sure you've got a quality holster. Go to kooksholsters.com today.
Pistols, prayer, and potluck. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
This is Dr. Johnny Dean from Doctors for Responsible Gun Ownership. I hope that Santa brings me a SIG 320 RX in 9mm for Christmas. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rhonda Iselle, founder and president of Chicago Guns Matter, lead plaintiff in Ezell versus Chicago. On my wish list is the MVP Series Mossberg Predator bolt-action rifle chambered in 5.56 with a Vortex scope and a couple thousand rounds of .223 ammunition to go with. Have a great holiday and Merry Christmas to all.
Welcome back to Armed Lutheran Radio. It's our special Christmas wish list episode, and I am on site at our fine sponsor, Guns for Gals, with the owners, Patrick and Cassie Coburn. Guys, thank you for being on the show again this year.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
First question, and we ask every year, what's new, what's hot, what are people looking for Christmas this year?
Well, the Walther CCP with the gas blowback chamber that reduces coil and puts you back on target rather quickly is become much popular, and the new Browning 1911 380 and medallion has really taken off.
Those are nice.
Yeah, that one seems to have replaced a lot of the popular ones last year because it's got a little bit longer grip feel to it, so it feels more substantial in your hand, but it has a lot less recoil than most of the tiny 380s, and it's got all the features of a 1911,
right,
which most people are familiar with, so it feels familiar, right, but it looks new.
Very cool.
And it's lightweight.
Yes, it's very lightweight.
It's kind of like you took a 1911 and ran it in the dryer and shrunk it.
That's exactly what it's like. But it came out prettier, too.
But it did come out prettier. It's nice and shiny.
Mm-hmm. Comes in a bunch of different configurations, too. So there's something for everybody.
Advice for people who are interested in buying a gun for family, for kids, for Christmas. What do people need to consider when they're buying a gun for someone else?
I think the biggest thing that we see most often is to make sure that you think about the person you're buying for and not just what you would want to have, but what they would actually carry and what they would like, because we see a lot of people who are like, oh, if they don't like it, I'll just keep it. That's not really the spirit of Christmas. It's cheating.
Right.
And also a lot of folks that are buying guns are buying a gun for someone who's never owned one before, and we always recommend taking into consideration what else they might need to go with it. If they've never owned a gun, they probably don't have any cleaning supplies. They probably don't have any baby food for their new baby,
Right.
Any accessories that they might need the first time they go to the range, like shooting accessories, the maglulas, the ears and eyes, that kind of thing that make good stocking stuffers, always make good add-ons to the holiday gift, especially if it's someone who might not already have that kind of thing.
Is there anything they need to consider legally when they're filling out the paperwork?
Well, when they're buying the gun, they are the purchaser of the firearm. So when they're filling out their form, they need to check, yes, I am the person buying the gun. If they want to give it as a gift, that's between them and the recipient, how they handle that. But actually, at the moment of purchase, they are the person buying the firearm.
Right. So they need to make sure they don't put, no, this is not for me.
Exactly.
Because they'll be in trouble.
Well, they won't be able to purchase the firearm if they put no.
Right.
Unless they're intending to purchase it to sell it to someone, and then putting no really helps us do our job.
Right. Push the little button under the counter.
You can't. I'm sorry. You can't have that today.
All right, we asked these questions last year, and the answers may or may not have changed. What are you guys looking for under the tree or in the stocking this year that's gun-related?
Well, I personally want the 1911 and 380. The lightweight of it is really attractive, and I really like the 1911 platform.
And you're looking for the
medallion
version.
It's very pretty. It's got a nice stainless slide and night sights. He's been eyeballing that since it came out.
But they're selling so fast you can't keep one for yourself.
That's true. They do sell as fast as they come.
Yeah, that's the problem when you're trying to give the gift also.
Let the mailman.
Here comes the mailman.
And what do you think?
Thank you.
Have a good one.
I always look for new ways to make my SIG that I carry. I've got the little 238, and I always look for new ways to make it look meaner than it already does. And I found all kinds of ridiculous optics and things that you can add onto it, which is, I don't need it, and it's so silly, and I love it already just the way it is. But at the same time, it's kind of like the noisy cricket. You know, anything you can do to make the tiny thing look scarier is kind of appealing.
Right. How about for the kids?
Like mags.
Oh yeah, mags are always useful.
They've been upgraded. We moved them from the BB guns to the long guns, and now we're looking at semi-autos. I think we're both going to end up starting them. They've been shooting our Browning 1911-22, and I think their first gun's probably going to be the little Walther P22 or the little Browning maybe for themselves. But when they get to that point, they're still small. They're still learning, but they're learning fast, which is great because we have a girl, so we want to make her scary so the boys don't call.
Yes, absolutely. I'm in the same boat. Taking mine out of the range, trying to get her ready.
Yes. Don't forget, Mommy and Daddy own a gun store.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time and for continuing to support the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year for you and the kids.
Thank you so much for having us back on.
Oh, yes. Thank you. We appreciate that.
This is Jonathan, a friend of the show and the reigning undefeated world champion of the Armed Lutheran Trivia Contest. I would like to wish a Merry Christmas to our service members and their families, deployed or here on stateside, our first responders and their families working through this holiday, and to you listening as well, who are celebrating the birth of our Savior as well as his future return. I would like to go over a few things that I have on my checklist this year for what I would like for Christmas. The first is more training. This past October, I was able to go to a MAG 40 class, which I would highly recommend. It was a very good class, and I learned quite a bit and really developed a bug for more training. This year, I would like to try to take a medical trauma class that is above my first aid class from the Red Cross. In 2019, I'd like to save up and try to go to another instructor like a Chris Costa or Travis Haley. And, you just have to decide that you're going to make some time, you're going to put aside some money. Don't make excuses this year. Go out, get some more training. You won't understand how deficient you really are until you actually get out there and try it. The other item that I would like for Christmas is a 9mm carbine for the pistol caliber carbine course in the USPSA matches. There's only about 2 other shooters in my league that have them, and so I have a good feeling that I'll place in the top 5. And there's also some things that I would like to see other people get for Christmas. It's a very short list, only 10 items, and I'll go through them Letterman style for you here. First one, Jerry Mikulik, one of the two, to shoot like a regular mortal so I don't feel so insecure about my own shooting ability. Item number 2, that the Brady campaign's heart would be like the Grinch and grow 3 sizes. Number 3, for Chris Costa and Travis Haley to bottle their machismo and ego. I'd buy it for myself, and I'm thinking maybe they could use a combination of their 2 names, something, combine and call the product Costly. Number 4, I would like Uncle Mass to put the cigarette industry out of business by giving up smoking. Number 5, national reciprocity to pass Congress. Number 6, that the Colt Python would be brought back into production. Number 7, that Keltex would be available in good supply at fair values and never have to be recalled to the factory. Number 8, that 9mm Glock people and 45 ACP 1911 people will love each other in perfect harmony. Hey, miracles happen. Number 9, that people will look up the answers to their questions on Google first before asking it on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Number 10, that I would have another competitor for the Armed Lutheran Trivia Show because Daddy needs another Kooks Holster. And just to reiterate, I'd just like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. Thanks, Lloyd, for putting on the show.
Hi, everybody. This is Kenn Blanchard from the Black Man with a Gun Show podcast and the Speak Life podcast. Brother Lloyd, thank you for the invitation. This year on my Christmas list, I got two things. One, I'd like to actually get a Maxim 9. That's that suppressed 9mm pistol by Silencer Co. Would love to have one of those. And I'd love to go on a hunting trip somewhere where boars were huge and fearsome and had tusks sticking out of their faces, and got a chance to go hunting with somebody and actually got a huge boar, and we roasted that bad boy maybe even that same evening. That would be too cool for school. I want to wish everybody listening a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. I wish that you also have peace. I pray for your families and all be well in your household. This is your friend and your brother from another mother, Kenn Blanchard from the Black Man with the Gun Show podcast and Speak Life, which you can find on iTunes, Google Play, and wherever good stuff is found. Shalom, baby.
This is Jackie Russo, member of the Armed Lutheran Radio pistol team, and I'm happy to report Christmas came early to the Russo house. Recently, I transitioned from the SIG P320 to Glock. I really wanted to add something unique to my Glock 19 competition pistol, so I had an idea for a Welsh cardigan corgi-themed slide. As we have a corgi, her name is Rainey, and she's sitting right next to me. As a side note, our little dog, Rainey, is the unofficial mascot of the Corgi Nation pistol team. Why a pistol team? Because their legs are too short for a rifle team, but I digress. Anyway, enter Kate Donnelly from the Glock store. I sent her my ideas for a graphic of a running corgi with paw prints, and she created an awesome corgi-themed engraved and Cerakoted Glock 19 slide in red. This is my new perfect Christmas corgi Glock 19 competition pistol. And I'll let you know, she's ready for competition in 2018. In the meantime, in 2017, we would like to, she just growled. Anyway, we'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Russos and our corgi, Rainey. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm Rob Morse from the Self-Defense Gun Stories podcast. I don't want people to buy me gun things for Christmas. Yeah, I'm kind of a bah humbug guy right now. Look, I can get my own 9mm ammo. Thank you very much. What I care about are the things that don't fit under the Christmas tree. Christ saves souls, but I want my brothers and sisters everywhere to protect themselves so that they'll continue to do God's work here on earth. Store your guns safely. Hey, and if you have to buy yourself a late Christmas present of a small gun safe, then take care of that. If you're traveling this Christmas, then be prepared as you travel. That's why I want you to please get your concealed carry permit. Perhaps you're in a state where you're not allowed to carry. That's why I want you to call your politicians and get national reciprocity. If that present would fit under a tree, man, I'd be thrilled to find a giant ribbon that would fit all around it. I want you to avoid trouble rather than fight your way out of it. So please, take a self-defense class. Is that all too intangible? Too spiritual for the holidays? Well, I've thought about a new gun, if you really must know. Maybe I'll look at a CZ P10C and see if it's a good gun for us. I say for us rather than just for me, because the CZ looks to be ambidextrous, and we have some lefties in the house. In the same vein, I want to get a better magazine reloader to make shooting at the range a little more fun. That can wait for the after-Christmas sales. I'm at the age when I sit back and smile as other people open their presents of holsters, magazines, and new gun belts. Maybe those are your presents, and you'll try them on and then set up a cleared area for dry practice with your new gifts. So do that for the people you love. Do that, and you'll give me all the presents I need. I'm Rob Morse from the Self-Defense Gun Stories podcast. I'll post my annual year in review for gun owners on ammoland.com in a few weeks. Look for me there. From the listeners and staff of Self-Defense Gun Stories to the listeners and staff of Armed Lutheran Radio, Merry Christmas to all.
Hey there, Armed Lutheran listeners. This is Luke from the Triangle Tactical Podcast at triangletactical.net, where I talk about competitive shooting mostly. And listen, I don't really need anything for Christmas this year. 2017 has been a pretty awesome year. And as far as I go, like I'm pretty well taken care of. But I do have this thing that if I'm allowed to have the wantsies, there's something that I want for Christmas. And what that is I want you to go shoot your first match. If you've never shot any type of competitive shooting match, I want you to go shoot it, because I have this theory about how we can win the gun rights and we can win a lot of these things back just by getting people involved in competitive shooting. There's something about when it really becomes this competitive thing that really makes people fired up about keeping their gun rights and stuff. And it's fun. And it's a good way to make friends. And did I mention that it's fun? Yeah. So I want you to go shoot your first match this year. That's what I want for Christmas. And yeah, y'all, that's really all I want. So Lloyd, thanks for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time. Hurry on.
As many of you know, Sergeant Bill and I are competitive shooters. We're also reloaders. Bill helped me to get started last year, but I've still got a lot to learn. One thing I do know, though, you need a good source for supplies and components. So let me tell you about U.S. Reloading Supply. Yeah, there are bigger suppliers out there, but what sets U.S. Reloading Supply apart from the rest is their dedication to customer satisfaction. Check them out at usreloadingsupply.com. They carry the top name brands like Starline, Rainier, Barry's, Remington, Spear, and Hornady. If you've got a special order like primers and powder that you don't see on their website, give them a call for a quote. I did and got a great price. Excellent customer service, fast delivery, prices that include shipping, and a promise to match or beat any retailer's price, including shipping. Call them today, 941-451-7357, or visit them today at usreloadingsupply.com and use the promo code Lutheran2017 to save 10% off your order. usreloadingsupply.com.
Hello, this is Pastor Brian Wolfmueller of Table Talk Radio. Hey, pay attention, because you're listening to Armed Lutheran Radio.
Friends, this is Willis Lee. You know me as a National Rifle Association of America board member, and I am also an Armed Lutheran. Episode 97. My Christmas gift this year and into 2018 is continued progress for our Second Amendment movement to someday constitutional carry. Wishing you and yours a blessed and safe celebration of the birth of our Savior. Merry Christmas from the Lee family, and we are certain to meet in the new year. In the meantime, keep shooting.
Hi, this is Amanda from Eye on the Target Radio. Rob and I would like to wish you each a very Merry Christmas. I was asked to join in and to share my Christmas wish with each of you. Let me tell you, 2017 was my year. And there's a lot of really good stuff that happens. And then in the midst of that good stuff, my husband, who I've been married to for 33 years, got some health news that wasn't fabulous. And so what that does is that says that no matter what you look at, and no matter what you wish for, the first thing that pulls you back is health. So my Christmas wish is, I wish for health. I wish for health for you and for me and for those who I love so dearly. And then if there's room after that really, really big wish, then I wish that 2018 somehow, some way would try to be just as fabulous as 2017.
Welcome back to our special Christmas wish list episode. Charlie Cook is the host of the Riding Shotgun with Charlie YouTube channel, and he joins us. Charlie, thank you for being with us again.
Lloyd, it is great to be back again. I'm honored. Thank you.
Christmas is, of course, coming up. It's our special episode. We're talking about all the kinds of gun-related gear and items that we would love to see under the tree. What are you hoping Santa Claus brings you this year?
Well, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I have a list on my refrigerator. You know what I'm saying. It's a dozen guns that if I had extra money, I would buy. And after I cross that list off, I would like to, come up with 12 more.
12 more.
But I think what I would really like to see underneath my tree this year is a Smith & Wesson shield. I do not have one of the M&Ps. I have a Glock. I have an airsoft. I think it's a CO2 gun. That's an M&P.
Right.
And even though I shoot the Glock in my gungram videos, I think the M&P is a lot more comfortable in my hand.
It does have a nice grip, and the trigger in the shield is nice. Yeah, that's a good choice.
Yeah, I think it would be good. And I would not object to making gungram videos for Smith & Wesson. If anyone from Smith & Wesson is listening, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
But being in Massachusetts, I can't have post-ban high-cap magazines.
Right. Well, the shield would make that easy. It's only 7 rounds, so.
Oh, well, forget that. That's out. So the next thing on my list...
You'll be doing a lot of one-handed reloading.
Right. If they had a high-cap magazine for a shield, that'd be cool. But they don't. So
what's the backup option?
The backup option. I don't know. I know I have riding shotgun with Charlie. I'm not much of a shotgunner. Oh. I would like to get a nice over under to do some trap shooting with.
Very cool.
I don't know enough about, I know Benelli's are really nice ones. I know there's a bunch of great, shotgun makers, but I'd like to get a nice double barrel shotgun. I do not have any double barrel shotguns, and the side by side ones really make you look, redneck. Is redneck the right word? But an over under would be nice.
Right, that makes you look a lot more sophisticated.
Right, exactly.
Anything gun related under the tree for the kids this year?
Not this year. When my son turned 12, I got him a 20 gauge shotgun, and he was not happy about it. His birthday's January 1st. So literally like Christmas Eve, I'm out. I bought a 20 gauge shotgun for him, and he's like, "I don't want a shotgun, Dad." I says, "What do you want, a handgun?" He's like, "I don't want a handgun, Dad." I'm like, "You want a rifle? Is that what you're looking for?" He's like, "Dad, I don't want anything. I'm 12." So I got a little pissy with him after I got him the shotgun. I'm like, "You know what? When your sister turns 12, I'm going to paint it pink and give it to her." But you know what I have done? I don't think the kids aren't gun folk as much as their dad is, of course.
Right.
They're cool with it. My son certainly likes the video games where they play shooting games.
Right.
And my son's almost 17. He likes talking politics, which is pretty cool.
Right.
As long as he's talking the way I like to hear him talk, it's pretty cool.
Right. Because he knows more than you do, by the way.
He certainly does.
I'm in the same boat.
Oh man. One of the things that I do for fun with my kids the last couple of years is I do a gungram with them. And instead of, everyone sends out Christmas cards with the family picture. What I do for the last couple of years is I send out a gungram that I do with my kids.
Very cool.
So I get them shooting, I get them in the video, and I go back to them and say, "Hey, 7,000 people watched your video." They're like, "Oh, brother,
Merry Christmas!"
Yeah, totally.
So what the last couple of years? What Christmas songs did you do?
The first time I did it was in 2015. We did "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," and it was my son was to my left, my daughter was on my right, and I played bum bum ba da 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 bum bum ba da 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 bum bum ba da da ba da dum bum bum bum, and on that last one we all fired together. So that was pretty cool. And then last year, what we did is we did 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh.
And for the 12 Days of Christmas, I literally was driving home from work and I heard one of the versions of 12 Days of Christmas. That's a comical version.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I could do that as a gungram. So I picked up my kids. My kids were not available on the same day. So I said, I'm picking you up. And you're gonna literally we're losing daylight too, right?
Right.
So I got about 20 minutes to get this done. I'm like, okay, you stand here, you shut up. I'm gonna play bomb, bum, and you're gonna shoot here and you're gonna shoot here. Do I shoot here? No, here and here. Literally, it's all biz. Shut up, do this. And we did the 12 Days of Christmas, and I had my one time my daughter shot the it starts off with just me. And then we go to the 12th day, my daughter's got the 1911. And then the 11th day, my son's shooting the 357. Mm-hmm. And then, we just kind of work our way through a bunch of the guns that I have.
Very cool.
And that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you for coming on the show again and for sharing your Christmas ideas, and Merry Christmas to you and the kids.
Hey, thank you very much, Lloyd. Merry Christmas to you and all your people too.
Welcome back to the second annual Christmas Wish List episode. Joining us now is our good friend and our primary sponsor, Bob Cook of Kooks Holsters. Last year we were talking about, we gave everybody a little bit of background on Kooks Holsters, and we talked about new products, and you had the new adjustable AR-15 mag carriers. What's new at Kooks Holsters in 2017?
Well, what we did this year is we still followed the basic business model we've done is we only add models when customers request things. So we didn't add a whole lot as far as new models. We came up with some new mounting styles. We sourced some new clips that seem to be working a little bit better for us for some of the tuckable. Tuckable seems to be a very, very hot topic right now. Lots of people want to be in business casual, be able to tuck that shirt in and still be able to carry their firearm and feel safe. So we sourced some different products there and made some changes to a couple of our tuckable product line holsters to help that out. Our flat back holster, we redesigned that a little bit to get better retention and get a true flat back on it so that people can put them in those bags and under their desk, and just anytime you need to mount a gun onto a flat surface. This is just a product that nobody else is making that is just really taken off for us.
It's a great product.
It works so well. And then we added some stuff for some daily use. I am a front pocket money clip kind of carrying person, so we started making wallets from Kydex that you can get a wallet that is the same color as your holster, and then we put a nice silicone band around it that's like the ones that you wear on your wrist that says Kooks Holsters on it, and it just functions so well. Holds 7 credit or debit cards, has a place for the money to go underneath that rubber clip, and then it also works. It's the same size as business cards, so we got a lot of ladies that use it to carry their business cards to keep fraying the edges of their business cards, and they always have them available, and that is just taken off. Those things, the price point is so inexpensive. They're $24, and everybody just loves these. We can't keep them in stock. It's been great. And then we added the EDC tray. That was basically sourced for something that I needed around the house, where you can just take all your stuff and put it in one place when you get home, so you don't leave that trail that your wife has to come behind you and kind of scoop it up in a pile. I walk in, put it all in one spot, and guess what? It's there when I get up in the morning. It's been amazing.
Yep.
And the same thing, we do it in all the colors that all the holsters come in, so you can get matching or complementary color or pattern, that just works really, really well.
And that sort of follows along the lines of how you got started in the first place. Is you see a need, you fill it, you come up with your own. I need a holster. How do I do this? I'll come up with one of my own. And you need an EDC tray, something to drop everything in. You come up with an idea. So a lot of your ideas come from, hey, I need this. How do I solve this problem for myself? And then you find that lots and lots of people have the same problems and the same interests.
That is correct. I think probably the number one, and we have two statements that pretty much kind of rule our business model. Find a need and fill it, or create a need and fill it. And the other is the answer is always no if you don't ask. So we put it out there, we try it, and it's the first rule of sales. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. So we found that
exactly
putting it out there and making it a reasonable price point, that these products are just they sell themselves, and I think that's probably the best thing about our product. Once you just put it in somebody's hand, regardless of what the product is, there's no instruction sheet necessary for most of our products.
Yep.
So they work very well.
Yep. It's cool to go to some of these matches and show off some of your gear, and people are really impressed by what they see. It's a great product, and it's the only thing. I'm maybe 2 guns shy of having a Kooks holster for every gun I own.
I don't think I could do that. We have
you've got you got a bigger selection
firearms in our safe. Now we've made a holster for all of them, but trying to keep one in stock is virtually impossible.
You added some new Kydex colors and patterns this year as well.
Yes, we partnered with a company in South Georgia that is doing a great job of coming up with patterns and colors. And whenever they come up with something, True Timber came out with some new colors. We came out with some snakeskin patterns. They have sourced some other colors. We have some vendors that like some of the more feminine colors, so we came out with some new purples and such. But I would have to count, and I meant to before we sat down, so I wouldn't be guessing. But we're over 100 different colors and textures right now.
Yep, I believe it. And we've started, myself and Bill, Silvia, Sergeant Bill have started sort of branching out into the different colors to show them off at matches. So. You've got a lot of great options out there. So, let's see. What seems to be the most popular gun model that you seem to be filling orders for this year?
It's carried over from last year pretty consistently. Most of the single stack and stack and a half guns, we call them, like the Glock 43s, the XDS, the Shield, anything that's got like that offset mag but not a full double stack. In the shop, we lovingly call them stack and a half guns because they're the size. They're not, they're not a 1911 single stack, but they're not a Glock 19 double stack. So those
right
consistently now with the Smith & Wesson coming out with the 2.0 line of products, both the full size and the compact in the M&P 2.0, and then they've done the same with the Shield. Now they took the aggressive grip texture that they put on the M&P Shield 45 that they released last year. And carried that over to the new Shield this year. So they came out with the Shield 2.0, and then they put an integrated laser model in that. So that has really been probably the biggest thing that we see is just those polymer stack and a half guns are still by far the number one movers in our company. And with us doing gun molds as well, we do training molds and we do holster molds that allow gun owners to practice with an inert replica in the holsters that we make, and it works really well. So because you can get them, the blue guns are great, but they're not made in every single gun. Every single gun that we sell, or every single model that we sell a holster for, we also sell a training firearm for that as well. So it makes it very, very easy for a user to get them, and the price point is phenomenal as well.
Very good. And that's at give us the website address for that.
There's a link on kooksholsters.com, or you can go directly to kooksgunmolds.com. And we make them a nice bright yellow color, so there's no confusing them for anything else on the market. So it's a very, very useful product.
Very good. We talked about what you were looking forward to last year, and I know that's hard. Last year you were talking about filling out the colors because at this point you have so many different things that adding another is not really an issue. It's just a matter of I want a green one or a blue one or a purple one in all of these that I've already got. What's on the list for Bob Cook this year? On what are you looking for under your Christmas tree?
I'm still, family pretty much filled in this year with the marriage and my son coming to work for me, and that was number one on my list, just to see some completion. So as far as firearms, I just recently purchased a couple more guns, and again, they're usually for the shop. So I'm at that same place. I bought some gray of the Glocks this year, and again, I'm just looking for stuff that's different.
Right.
Again, fill in the empty holes that I can find. I found that I've had to purchase more knives than guns because I don't own all the knives and I own most of the guns. So when my wife asked me this year, what do you want for Christmas? I kind of had to say the same thing. One of what I have, just find it in a different color. I had a frame sent out and had some work done to one of my Glocks to make it different because I already had the colors and I already had the combination. So we had it machined and did some fancy stuff with it. So I think that's probably going to be what's going to happen again this year. Is she's going to, when I say she, my wife is probably going to find one that I don't have and have something nice done to it, a different color or engraving or something done to it.
Cool. How about the kids? Have you gotten, other than your son, anything for the kids? Are they involved with shooting with you as well?
They're still young. My children that are in my home with me still are 4 and 8. They both have a huge interest in the holster business. My grandson has been in the shop and actually made his own holster. We have them all make their own holster as they use, as we spoke about the inert training guns. They actually have holsters and inert training guns that they play with on a regular basis.
How neat!
They absolutely love them. They come into the shop and they want to know where theirs are. They keep one in their room. They're like the 938s and the 238s and that size kind of gun, so they can get their hands around them and play with them, and they practice their draws and that kind of stuff. I have not taken them to the range to actually fire a pistol. Our 8-year-old is getting close. We'll probably be taking her soon to try shooting the 22s and some of the small stuff. But our 4-year-old, that's still a little bit far off.
Still a little ways away.
But he loves it. He can make the noises. He knows how they work. They're incredibly great about the gun safety, and it's because we don't make it a secret. We allow them to handle them when they're safe and they know what they are, and there's no they're not trying to sneak behind us to try to find out what's going on with them, and that's our biggest thing is the safety factor.
Well, and that's the key to it too. Kids are so curious, and you hear all these people in the media and on the anti-gun side who talk about, oh no, we got to keep the kids away from guns. It's that curiosity that gets generated from, you tell kids not to get in the cookie jar. They're going to get in the cookie jar.
I don't know why they're not supposed to be in the cookie jar. They want, why am I not supposed to? So don't I touch daddy's gun? Why am I not supposed to do that? So you take all that secretive away, then, but we're also a huge proponent of when I'm in the house, my gun's on my hip. I don't leave guns laying around. We don't keep any of the extra firearms that like I said, we own almost 300 of them now. They're all locked in a safe at the shop. The guns that my wife and I carry on a daily basis are in a holster and on our hip if they're not on the nightstand after the children are in bed. So, we don't leave them laying around, but they know about them.
So that's awesome because they're around it every day and it's normal to them. So there's not that curiosity. And we hear people say, well, do you carry it home? Because so many times, where do home invasions happen? They happen at home. So it's what is your thinking, or how long has that been a part of your thinking that you're always carrying a gun at home?
Since I owned my first firearms 7 years ago when I started Kooks Holsters, from the day I bought my first gun, I have always had a gun on my hip from that point forward.
Yep.
I've come up, a lot of the products that we have developed, we talk about finding needs. A lot of those are finding ways to carry when you're not in the most comfortable way, a boot holster. I'm an ordained minister, and when I would preach in church, I would carry even when I was in the pulpit. I was a youth pastor for a decade, and after I got involved with the firearms industry, it was during that time when I was a youth minister, and I always carried a firearm with me all the time, no matter what. I would rather deal with the ramifications of having to use it than to feel like if I'd have had my firearm, I could have done something. I don't want that regret. And that's pretty much has geared our entire carry philosophy in our home. You know, I don't ever want to be that guy that says, if I had my gun, I could have done something about it. I want to be the guy that said, I have my gun and I'm going to do something about it.
I did not know that about you.
That I was an ordained minister.
Yes.
Sir.
Well, and you know what we do on the show. You know exactly what we're trying to accomplish here. So give us sort of, now that I know this, give us sort of your philosophy, your thought here from a Christian perspective of why do you think so many Christians, evangelical Christians, see gun ownership as somehow contradictory to the teachings of Jesus or the teachings in the Bible?
Because unfortunately, the mainstream media often paints guns and violence in a very, very similar light. That somehow they believe that if there weren't guns, then somehow there wouldn't be violence, and that's not the case. It's evil. The evil that's in man's heart has been there forever. I mean, we're a fallen society, and we always will be, and there's nothing that's going to fix that. If we're, Cain and Abel, it was a rock, and it just progressed from there. So I think Christians, unfortunately, have been taught, or maybe not been taught, have just by default have automatically assumed that, violence and the tools that people use in violence are somehow synonymous. And that's not the case. I believe as a Christian, I think we need to use the tools that we're given to protect ourselves. I mean, we're told to do that in the Word, and the Word even tells us to sell our cloaks so that we can, so we can have the tools we need to protect ourselves. So I think mostly it's just the violence thing. People just equate violence to guns, but you know what? I don't think that's an accurate statement.
All right. So, well, thank you so much for coming back on the show again this year, and thank you so much for continuing to support us. We really do appreciate. We couldn't do it without you, and really appreciate you and the products, and we congratulations on everything, all your success and everything. We're really happy for everything that's happened for you this year, and look forward to great things in 2018.
Yes, sir. Well, I thank you for what you do, and I listen to the stuff that you talk about and the topics you have to tackle from the point of view that we have to do. And sometimes that's a difficult thing to do. It's hard to mix those two things sometimes. And I often talk about, I had two circle of friends. I had my gun friends and I had my church friends. It was how rarely they overlapped, and how sometimes you had to kind of go ahead of the other one and let them know, hey, my gun friends are going to be at this event, or hey, my church friends are going to be at this event. You kind of have to, but more and more so now in my life, those worlds have come to overlap much, much more, and it makes it much easier. So I appreciate it.
It makes life so much easier.
It does. Yeah.
Well, again, congratulations, and we're just so happy for your success and for everything that's gone on this year for you. And Merry Christmas to you and Crystal and the kids.
Merry Christmas to you.
And that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. I've got a lot of thank yous to throw out here to all the people who participated in this week's show. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and do interviews or to send in a Christmas wish. I really appreciate it. Gail, Pepin, and Massad Ayoob, Rhonda Iselle, Willis Lee, Sergeant Bill Silvia, Kenn Blanchard of the Black Man with a Gun podcast, Dr. John Adine of Doctors for Responsible Gun Ownership, Lucas Apps from the Triangle Tactical podcast, Aaron Israel, Amanda Suffecool of Eye on the Target Radio, Jackie Russo from Team Armed Lutheran Radio and the Reformation Gun Club, Rob Morse from the Self-Defense Gun Stories podcast, Pastor John Bennett, Jon Braaten, Mia Anstine, Patrick and Cassie Coburn from our sponsor Guns for Gals, Charlie Cook from Riding Shotgun with Charlie, and our primary sponsor, Bob Cook from Kooks Holsters. Thank you all for listening. Merry Christmas. When we get together again next week, it will be our 100th episode. Until then, keep shooting, keep praying. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Armed Lutheran Radio. For show notes, be sure to visit our website, at www.armedlutheran.us. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and TuneIn. This podcast is made possible by Kooks Holsters and contributions from listeners like you.